What is going on, fellas? I just want to hop on real quick and talk about some of the news and expectations for this new Battlefield 6 that a lot of people are hype about. And I know the title of this video is what are Battlefield fans looking for? What are they asking for? But really, I kind of know what that is, and I think the gist of it is basically an updated Battlefield 3 slash Battlefield 4. And I would like to add that I include myself. I would say I am definitely a Battlefield fan. I played, Battlefield 3 and 4 on 3 on Xbox 360, 4 on PS4. Those were kind of a big part of my childhood. And then I did dabble in Hardline, and when I got my PC, I did play some 2042. So I definitely am somewhat invested in the franchise. But really, I think the main thing I want to address is what are Battlefield fans not asking for, or what are they telling EA not to do? And I think the interesting thing about this is that if you go on the Battlefield subreddit or these forums, for some reason, I think you'll see more screenshots and discourse on Call of Duty Black Ops 6 than on anything that Battlefield has released. You'll see, the American Dad skins and, the Rick and Morty skins and say, EA, do not do this. Battlefield, don't do this. And I think that's valid, but also I don't really feel like there's been an indication from Battlefield that they will ever add cartoon skins into the game. I do realize that's the general direction that FPS games are heading, basically any skin or cosmetic that will sell, regardless of whether or not it fits a certain theme. But also, I mean, you look at the skins in Battlefield 2042, and this might sound kind of redundant if you've watched Jev's most recent Battlefield video, but there's nothing super outlandish. They are a little bright for my liking, and they have some crazy masks. But honestly, in this era of FPS games, I think that's very tame and kind of the least of what you can expect. So I do think it's interesting how Battlefield fans have put so much, effort into tearing down Black Ops when this isn't Black Ops. I don't think, you'll see American Dad in Battlefield. Hopefully, I don't eat my words at some point. Um, but really, I think if we focus the discussion more on what to improve from 2042, Jeff also said that a lot of people hate tax sprint. I don't really understand. I understand if you're coming from like I want a classic gameplay perspective, but also I don't think tax sprint is like the end of the world. I think it's a little redundant because it makes regular sprinting almost obsolete. But at the end of the day, I don't mind it. I like running fast. I don't want crazy, omni movement or anything like that in Battlefield, but I don't think tac sprint is the end of the world. And then certain things, gadgets, abilities, I think most Battlefield fans would agree that those can be tamed way down. 2042 is a quote unquote futuristic game, so I do think those will be more tame in Battlefield 6. And really, in terms of Battlefield gameplay, I don't think anything that encourages lone wolf, do it yourself, stim shot, flak jacket, all these extra armor plates. I don't think those have a place in Battlefield if you want a that raw, gritty team atmosphere. Even though that is kind of my natural inclination in terms of I tend to run around by myself and try to do my own thing. I don't think that's best for Battlefield. I don't think the assault class. I did not play Battlefield 1 or 5, so I believe this was in those games. But really, the assault class, I don't think that should be separate from medic. I think the medic should have the med kits and the defibrillators. I don't think that should be separate from assault. I don't think that should be a thing. So stuff like that. If we can get back to that 3/4, be around your team and fill your specific role, be a good idea. And the last thing that I'll mention, or one of the last things, is the feature in 2042, which may be due to its futuristic setting. I don't think you should have 3 barrels for each gun, 3 sights for each gun, 3 underbarrels for each gun in your one loadout. So what I'm saying is, in that game, you can switch sights, switch barrels, switch ammunition, all with the click of a button while you're in the field of battle. I don't think that's best. It's really not a terrible idea, but it's just too much going on. I started getting kind of OCD about building like this perfect do-it-all loadout, but I think it's better if you have to pick a gun, however many 3 to 4 attachments, and then make that work and fill your role and make that work for your team. That's a better approach than having everyone be able to do everything all at once and kind of neglect that team aspect. And then the actual last thing I'll touch on is the gunplay. From what I've seen of Battlefield 6, it does kind of look, it has that kind of more plastic, arcadey look like 2042, which that might just be due to, games progressing. I don't think we're going to get back to the spray and suppression of 3 and 4. But as long as, guns aren't total laser beams and there is you can feel some level of recoil, it'll be just fine. So overall, I think we can all agree that Battlefield 6, the gameplay we've seen, has somewhat surpassed expectations based on the backlash that 2042 received. But the beta's not even out yet, so there's a lot to be gained from that. So we'll see what direction they go. But I know there's a lot of differing opinions. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I hope you guys have a great day.